What's going on, guys? So today I'm going to be talking about what a spiritual awakening is and what's helped me and hurt me through it. So a spiritual awakening is basically just a shift in consciousness. You're waking up to really the truth of who you are, and basically a shift in how you view things. Your thoughts all change, and you really start questioning everything. So for me, this happened about 2 years ago. I've really been going through this process for about 2 years, and about 2 years ago, it was a really big change. The thing that started it was veganism for me, or vegetarianism, because I started to view animals more than just food, because I started questioning, why am I eating this? Why am I eating this chicken? And it was funny because I always believed that animals, when I first found out that meat came from a dead animal, I was really shocked by it. It was when I was very young, but I really started to think about it 2 years ago, and then I took action because I couldn't stand the guilt anymore, and so I went vegetarian, and then 6 months later I went vegan, and so that's what really started this for me, and also that just things, something was wrong with reality, kind of, I don't know, but that's the way I felt, and So I went vegan, and then right after I went vegan, just the strangest shit started happening. I started viewing things completely differently. I started looking at people differently. I'm like, wait, they're still eating meat, you know? And I went through that little crazy vegan phase that people would label it, of yelling at everybody for eating meat and stuff, and then eventually realizing that it actually doesn't help. It doesn't help them go vegan. And so that kind of guided me in towards the direction of love and acceptance of everything, which was tough, but it worked, mostly. And about a year ago, about a year ago, I tried shrooms, and that was a hell of an experience because I didn't really know what to expect at all. I had my friend describing things about it to me, and I was like, you know what, why not? And I tried it, and it was probably the most amazing experience I've ever had in my life. It guided me, inside me, just completely. I saw the truth of how I could view everything. And it was completely love and bliss and just everything. It was amazing. And I was like, wow, what am I doing? I'm doing this to myself, because I used to be a very negative person a lot. Just because the environments I was in sometimes, and also just because I used to be a heavy video game player, and everybody knows that's not a good environment. Anyways, so what Mushroom showed me was that the answers are within, and that I can view everything from a loving perspective if I choose to. And it's been a gradual experience ever since then. I've been back and forth with it. I've been negative, and then I've been positive, and I'm beginning to realize that negative isn't a bad thing, which has freed me too, but at the same time, it's being negative most of the time isn't serving me, you know what I mean? And love really, I think, is our natural state of being, and so whatever love means to you, what love means to me is pure acceptance of everything, and it's hard to explain. I really feel like love can be best understood by feeling it without describing it. So for me, I've been following what I felt on mushrooms then, and what I've really always felt my whole life, except I've ignored it. But recently I started really, really following it and understanding it, and this is what the awakening has been about for me. It's really been about accepting love into my heart, letting hate go, freeing myself from all these distractions, and it's been the most beautiful experience in the whole entire world, and it's also been really, really depressing at some points, because letting go of the ego, or letting go of hate, or however you describe the ego, can be very challenging, because the ego itself is just, if somebody calls you by your name, that's what Alan Watts says. If somebody calls you by your name, that's still your ego responding to it. And the ego isn't really a bad thing, but it's don't let it control you, you know what I mean? Don't let your mind control you, basically. Because your mind is... And Alan Watts says something really cool, too. He's the mind can be a really, really excellent servant, but a bad master. And that really shook me up, because that's very, very true. Because you don't want your mind trying to solve everything, because we don't know anything. Truly, I don't know anything. I just feel things. I don't know. But for me, it's been letting go of the ego has been a really beautiful and destructive process at once. My mind has been trying to take control of me for throughout this whole process, and I don't know. I've been listening to my heart a lot more, and what that means, listening to your heart, to me is like just being, relaxing, letting everything go, freedom. Freedom is always what I've wanted, and that's what I've really been listening to. Just be in the moment, no matter what it is, no matter what's happening in the world, just be in the moment, because, we truly aren't in control of anything, so there's no point in worrying about it or anything. That's why the news is very irrelevant, because, they portray negative information in the media and all that, but what is it doing? It's not really doing anything except to lower the vibration of humanity. So what I believe my purpose is to raise the vibration of humanity, and this is what really everybody's purpose is, I believe. We just have to awaken to it, and that's what the spiritual awakening really is about. So for me, it's been a very, very beautiful process, honestly, in its entirety, because I see why I've went through all these challenges, basically, of letting go of the ego. There's been a lot of stuff in the way, like, I don't know, there's so much I want to talk about. I'll save it for some different videos, but really that's what it's been about. Stuff that's prevented me from the awakening or just held me back, kept me where I was, has been junk food, especially junk food, and using marijuana in excess. Marijuana is a great thing. I love marijuana, but using it in excess can be very dangerous, because then, because I started relying on it for peace. I had a very hard time controlling my thoughts, so I used marijuana for it. And that's not a bad thing to do, but I started using it every day, and I used to just use it like once a week. And when I started using it every day, it started becoming a problem. And I recently just gave it up a week ago, so it was really recent, but I'm already feeling a difference, because it was really controlling me. And I don't know, marijuana is a beautiful thing, but you have to use it in moderation. Like, that's very important with marijuana. And junk food especially has no purpose at all except to give you dopamine and pleasure. Pleasure is not a bad thing either, but that in excess too can be really dangerous. And junk food really did control my thoughts as well, because it made me think, oh, I really want to eat that right now, but it's not going to do anything for me. And I discovered by eating live foods and like foods with living enzymes, organic fruits and vegetables, beans and all that stuff really makes me feel alive. And you may say, well, that doesn't taste good. To me, they taste pretty good. I don't know. I love fruits and vegetables, but beans or something else. Anyways, junk food really played a big part in controlling my thoughts and just how I felt throughout the day. And it still is. It's trying to attack me every now and then. But I don't know. Really, that's just my brain thinking that it needs it. So I'm not too worried about it. I'm confident that I can do it, that I can stay on this healthy lifestyle, because I gave up junk food pretty recently as well, so everything's really happening all at once. Anyways, that's really been it for me. There's a lot more I want to talk about, but I don't think I can cram it all in one video, so that's why I have this YouTube channel, of course. So if you guys enjoyed this video, please subscribe, because there's a lot more to come. Leave some comments if you have some questions for me. I'd be happy to answer them for you. And that's really it. Thank you guys for watching, and have a beautiful rest of the day. Love you all. See ya.